On to the next adventure. We are now leaving Washington and we're heading down to Utah. Let me see, good enough?
Good enough?
Good enough.
Okay.
Okay, hey, so where are we? Where are we?
So we are in beautiful Zion National Park.
Right outside of Zion is Hurricane, and right outside of Hurricane is St. George. We're staying in Hurricane. St. George, Utah is where TetonX is located. We took this opportunity to go to visit Kyle and Lindsay from TetonX. I really appreciate their time today, and we wanted to kind of give you an overview of what we learned, the rig, everything that that makes their hybrid comp what it is. So here we go.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Excellent.
Film like the entire thing.
Oh, I knew. So good to see you.
Good to see you. love that everything has its place.
I was just asking. That's an option.
That makes my heart happy. It speaks to every good thing inside of me. So yeah, when I saw that, I went, oh, this woman.
We're kindred spirits.
For sure. Good boy.
So this setup this is the Truma 60 liter. We can also fit the Dometic 75. And the Dometic 75 is the dual zone. And you've got 2 large pantry drawers.
I'm like, soft clothes. That makes me happy too. Look, Jeremy, I can stand up. This is great.
You can stretch too.
I could
you
stretch. I could probably do, a couple of downward facing dogs in here if I wanted to. Yeah.
Put your hands up. Yeah, you can't even touch the roof.
On my tippy toes I can. But I'm 5'3", so let's keep that in mind. But yeah, how tall is this again? Remind me.
6'8".
6'8". So all of our really tall friends would be just fine in here.
You have a dance party with your short friends.
That's right, and a dance party with the shorties. That's nice.
Where's the pole?
Yeah, where's the pole? It's not that kind of dance party, Jeremy. It's different.
It's on the options list.
Yeah, there you go.
Upgrade.
Yeah, and I love the fact that this moves around, that you have options, you can put it down, right? This goes down, yes, this goes down, and that's how you make the bed out. So there are a lot of different options, which is nice because we have computers and stuff, right? So that makes a difference to us. And power, look, power, Jeremy, we love power.
Is that you have inverter?
This particular trailer doesn't, but yes, we have
Okay.
we have multiple inverter packages.
Okay.
With automatic transfer switches. So once you plug back into shore, it automatically transfers over power from your inverter.
Okay.
So we're using the Lagoon table mount. So you just loosen this here and pop that off. And then loosen your support. And this mounts on this plate. And then that just drops into the support. And that is your east-west bed. So that gives you 76 by 60, which is just barely longer than a traditional RV queen. I think an RV queen is 74. And then if you want to do a north-south queen, Kyle is going to hand me.
This one?
Yes, the table, not the pad.
Okay.
Take the pad, I'll take the table.
All right.
So to do the north-south queen, you have a second table. So this table has adjustable legs. So you can use this outside as an optional table or an extra table, and then it also folds up. So if you want to store it away, you can do that as well. And then
Just like shimmy things around. I like those are
you can edit
big
that a little.
mattresses.
So there is your north-south queen. And you can we usually keep it centered, so you've got 8 inches on both sides of the bed. You can also this is kind of what we call our king. And then so you have a third panel that drops in here. So that is then, it's 76 by 76, but we've left this little corner out to keep the door clear. So even with the largest bed, I still have 22 inches of standing room here.
Yeah.
So pop in and see what that feels like.
Yeah. You know I'm going to.
Because that's your least amount of floor space that you're
Yeah.
gonna have.
Yeah, but then you're still able to stand up, you're still able to get your clothes or whatever, and you're still able to put everything on. So that's great. And I'm gonna lay down.
So our mattresses are dual-sided. You've got memory foam on one side and high-density foam on the other. So depending on if you like a firmer bed or a softer bed.
Which is nice to have the tons of space, tons of head space up here. You've got a firm back, you can put pillows, you can sit up, you can work, you can do all kinds of things.
Probably even take this behind you to
Yeah,
sit
you
on the
could.
bed. And
Sure, if you wanted to do that. Yep.
And feel free to move whatever you want around in there. And I can throw it back into east-west if you'd like.
And I kind of like this setup with the space on the sides.
Yeah.
That would be nice because then,
Charging. Speaking of outlets back there, I don't see. So
There is an outlet next to the cabinet, kind of under the bed in this mode. And then you've got USB and 12 volt here.
And then you've
So you
got an
just-
outlet out here as well in this kitchen. Gotta have a margarita machine.
well, of course.
okay, Chris, let me ask you about probably one of the most obvious advantages to the TetonX, which is storage space. What did you think?
So it has a box up front for storage, and then it doesn't have a lot of extra storage, but you can put racks on top if you want to store additional things, like if you want to have a kayak or something like that, you can actually do that. And they talked very extensively with us about how they can customize the rig to fit your particular needs, which I think is one of the really great advantages of this smaller company, is that they do a lot of communication with you and they do a lot of customization, so that if you're wanting to put certain things on the roof, they talked about putting in different struts and putting in different gear so that you can be able to do that. So I liked that. But I think you're a little bit more keen on the storage than I am. I want that kitchen to be good. The storage inside was great.
Yeah, well, storage.
Yeah.
There's space.
There's space.
Right? There's plenty of space. You got space underneath the bed. Once you lay the table down, you put the bed. So you've got space under there. You've got space towards the front.
Mm-hmm.
You have access through the front panels to your refrigerator. So it's very, very configurable. It's got lots of interior room that you can choose how to use. You're not cramped into a small confined space and then trying to figure out where are you going to put your clothes, where are you going to put your... You really don't have the same kind of debate there.
Right, and they have some different features that you can add to the rig. That way you can do whatever you want. And they talk about cubbies. You can put in cubbies or you can put in drawers. You can put in a sink or not a sink. You can do all kinds of different things.
Yeah. How about the off-road ability?
Well, talk about the suspension. I mean, he gave us a really nice demonstration of the suspension.
Yeah.
And the size of the tires and the clearance. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So you've got 31-inch tires. You've got independent suspension. The big benefit to the large tires and the high clearance and suspension when you're towing behind a Jeep. Of course, you can plan where you tow the Jeep. You're dragging this big rig behind you. You can't necessarily plan for where those tires are going to creep and crawl, and you can't just pick your line quite as carefully as you can with your tow vehicle. So having that clearance is important. It's got a fully articulating hitch up front. One of the other off-road components that we like to consider, we like to talk about, is the body, is the frame, is the manufacturing. This was probably not something that we really understood and appreciated when we first started looking at these trailers. But the more we've talked to different manufacturers, the more we've come to appreciate the differences in manufacturing design, their structural design and engineering that goes into making these things off-road capable. So I'm just going to hand this over to Kyle and let Kyle talk about the overall body and the frame.
Here is a sample of what our wall structure is. So we've got a Crane Composites fiberglass panel on exterior and interior sandwiched over a high density foam. There is also, what you're not seeing in that, is aluminum structure inside within this wall. And so that allows us to take the weight of the roof and disperse that down the wall through aluminum to the chassis. So what we were talking about earlier is we're missing shear in that roof because now our body is a 5-sided box as opposed to a 6-sided box. We're missing that shear that the roof gives a lot of teardrops and other types of trailers. So what we do is this extrusion is actually a one-piece bonded extrusion all the way around to help square that and shore that that missing plane, as it will be. The roof itself has the same structure in it. It's got aluminum, 1x2 aluminum within the between the two fiberglass panels. That creates what's commonly referred to as a torsion box. So we take a foam, and the foam by itself is pretty flimsy and flexible. If we glue two panels to that, an exterior and interior panel, then that glue provides shear, so all of a sudden we have this panel that becomes extremely rigid. By themselves, all these components are flexible, but it becomes super rigid as one body. So then we put some aluminum in there as well, just to stiffen some more for some of the components we might put on the roof. Rooftop air conditioning. We want that right in the middle of the trailer, so we want to make sure that is shored up extremely well. So we put some aluminum in that as well. The structure to the exterior of the roof, that is all aluminum, 1/8" aluminum. We actually have that broke in into a type of extrusion. That's really not the right word. So we actually have the framing of the roof broke out of 1/8" aluminum locally, and that then is bonded to the panel as well and makes that roof extremely lightweight but very durable. So now we can actually put a set of load bars that mount on the exterior aluminum of that roof, so that when that load is down, it is sitting right over the top of the wall, and that the weight that's on that the weight that's on that load bar is actually dispersed directly down that wall, down that internal aluminum. We can put a substantial amount of weight on the roof. However, we're building a very lightweight roof. So it's about the new roof over our old fiberglass roof is almost half the weight. So we lost a lot of weight in the roof. We gained a little weight in the larger chassis, but in turn brought the center of gravity lower as well. Really what you're limited to on the weight rating of the roof is you're limited to the weight rating of the load bars. So a typical load bar will only allow you to put 150 pounds on a roof. So let's put multiple load bars up there and we can start dispersing more weight than that. But it really comes down to what load bars we put up there.
So it's a manual lift up and down, and we have gas struts. Everything's designed around the weight of the roof, whether you get AC or not. So once you've loaded that roof, we can't change those gas struts for whatever you've put up there that we don't know anything about. So you want to plan on taking all of that off the roof before you lift the roof. Or if it's permanent storage, we can address that and get a stronger strut for up, but then once you've unloaded the roof, then it's going to be so strong you can't pull it down. So there is some consideration on the roof as far as are you unloading it before you get to, once you get to camp, are you leaving it up there permanently? What's the goal for the roof storage in that respect? So we do have some options for actuators to work around the manual lift. We like to do as little tech as possible because that's what breaks when you're in the middle of nowhere. So we like the manual lift from that standpoint, but we can do an actuator to keep some more roof weight on there a little bit more permanently, and just use that electric actuator to compensate for that.
Okay, speaking of options, power.
We talk about power quite a bit, don't we?
we do. It matters, right? It matters for the type of time we intend to spend, and the option when we're out that we can actually live out of it, we can work out of it, and we're not limited by the capacity of the rig or some of the power configurations. So again, power is something that is very configurable on this device, on this camper.
They had a lot of options. You can put, I can't remember how much you can put on the roof itself, but then they recognize that you often want to camp in the shade. So the roof is not always the best place. So they have options for solar outside where you can put panels on the ground, and numerous places that you can place those solar options around your rig. So if you want one up front, or if you want one in the side or the back. So just a lot of different options there.
Yeah, they have. They showed us one of their power configurations with a 300 amp hour Battleborn. Oh my gosh, this thing was...
That was impressive.
It was huge, right?
Yeah.
Which you immediately start getting into, okay, so I've got that much battery capacity, but now I got to charge it, right? I have to have the capacity to charge it. And so those flexible options, roof solar, layout on the ground with solar mats, having all of those options is good.
Yeah, and the different brands, they said that you could go with multiple brands that they will work with what you're doing.
Right.
So they have 110 outlets inside the rig, and they where else did they have?
So right as you walk in, they also have the 12 volt and USB outlets. They don't, at least on the rig that we watched, their demo model, they do not have the USB outlet ports like at where you would expect your headboard to be at the end of the trailer. But it sounds like that's something that they have even debated themselves, and now have a solve with reconfiguring their wiring harness to support those types of things, at least as options.
Right. What about the livability? I don't know if that's the right word, but they have all kinds of different ways that you can configure that bed. And the mattress was, a lot of these companies, I mean, they're skimpy on those mattresses, but this was very comfortable and thick, very thick, and there were 3 different ways that you could do it. You could do the east-west queen, you could do the north-south queen, or the north-south king. So I'm not sure which one I liked the best. I think the east-west is probably best if you want more space to stand and put on your clothes or do anything in the front of that rig. But I don't know, the north-south queen at least gives you some space on the sides where I like to put a drink beside me at night, my phone, my book, or whatever, and so sometimes having a little spot to put things is nice too.
Yeah. The bed also, the cushions you can flip, and you've got a rigid side.
Oh yeah.
And you've got a memory foam side.
Right. So if you like a firm mattress, they got it. If you like a soft, they got that too. I liked the Lagoon table as well. Some of the rigs that we've seen, well, most of the rigs have seen don't have a table inside. So let's keep that in mind. They have a table inside, and it's on a Lagoon, or it's a Lagoon table, and it articulates, fully articulates around, and so you can configure it in so many different ways to meet your needs, or you can just leave it down as part of the bed and just leave your bed up the entire time.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's options for, we've always talked about, it's raining, we don't want to do anything, we just want to crawl inside and go to sleep. It's probably why we don't do a rooftop tent. We don't want to get out in the rain and put up a rooftop tent or put one away in the rain. So, so this one is one that you can crawl in without even putting the roof up. Crawl in and just go to sleep if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And then you could also still have space to put your stuff and get your stuff out and have your clothes. I like that. One of the things when we were doing our little test run in that hiker, you got to shove all of your stuff at the end of the bed, and then your shoes are getting everything dirty, and then you got sand in the sheets.
Yeah, yeah. You clearly have a floor.
You have a floor.
You have a floor.
Yeah.
And you can stand up as you walk in like
Right.
you would a normal camper. You don't have to crawl on your hands and knees to get into the rig.
Right, or crawl over someone.
Or something.
That I absolutely love. And of course, being a shorter human being, I couldn't even raise my hands and reach the roof. I had to get on my tiptoes to reach the roof when it's popped up. So 6'8", I believe they said, which is really tall. So that's great too. It gives you that sense of spaciousness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this doesn't matter to us so much because we are beyond the child raising days. Ours are out of the house now. They're older. But that is something also that is really great about this rig, is that if you have children, you can have them inside with you. So there are definitely ways that at least smaller children, and I know they have bunks, they have options for bunks and whatnot. They didn't have those up for this particular model or the demo, but they have those options, and I think that's something to note, even though it's not something that we care so much about. They have those options.
Right, right. How about the kitchen? What did you think of the kitchen space?
So, personally, I love the kitchen because everything has its place, and there's a place for everything. So Lindsay's done a really good job, I think, of really thinking about ease and efficiency and effectiveness. So once you put stuff in, then all you have to do is open the drawer and see, am I missing anything? Because oftentimes, especially if you live in if you live in an RV or if you live in a house, either way, you need to take your stuff out and wash it and give it a good cleansing. Well, if you don't immediately go back and put it in the rig, which you might not be able to, when you're prepping to go on another trip, you need to pull those drawers out and go, what's missing? Well, in this case, you can tell what's missing because you've got an empty spot, which is nice. And I don't think it has to be that way. I think that's just one of those options, and they've done a really good job of that. They have good space, counter space, so if you want to prep, you can pull out that the refrigerator area, and they have two nice sized drawers, soft clothes drawers, which was really nice as well. We didn't have the awning out, so I think maybe that might be a question that I might have if I had a chance to actually go take the rig out, is if it were inclement weather and I put the awning out and I had those two things out, is there still enough space to have some chairs under there and get in that amazing door, which let's talk about that amazing door. But I liked the kitchen and the storage space in the kitchen.
Yeah. You said storage space, pantry. How did you think, or how do you feel about the configuration for pantry space?
So from what I could see, the pantry really was mostly those drawers.
Right.
And depending on how much cooking you do, they have really a nice set of stackable, nestable, that's the right word, nestable pots. So very efficient, again, space saving. And I think depending on how much gear you take with you, you probably have a decent amount of space to get to your pantry. What would be really neat is if on the inside, when you're on the inside, you can open up and get to your refrigerator like you talked. It would be nice to also have a lid to that top drawer, so if you had your chips in there, or which this is probably a good idea that we don't have access to the chips because we can be late night snackers and that's not always a good thing.
Yeah.
So, but that might be a feature to be able to pop the top of that drawer and be able to get into that, and maybe that's where you keep your snacks or, you know, your late night chocolate.
Okay, so Chris mentioned the door. We live in an RV.
Oh my.
We live in an RV, and if you know much about RVs, the RV doors, they're a latched door, and the ability for that door to seat well and latch easily is really based upon the stresses, because it's a box, right? It's a box that's constantly under some forces and tension, and you deform the frame of the door anytime there are stresses on that trailer. And so we have really come to hate RV doors.
Loathe.
Yeah.
RV doors.
And of course most of these little trailers, they have it's the same basic manufacturing. Right. If not the same manufacturer, it's the same basic design.
The same style.
And so the fact that they recognized that they should do something different. They have the same heartache that we had.
Yeah.
And so here, I'm just going to hand this over to Kyle to give you an overview of their door, because candidly, we were both impressed.
Very impressed. It's probably the best one we've seen.
Yeah, one of the best. Really, one of the things that I like the most about this camper that separates it from others, the door.
The door is unique, and it's great.
So we use the Turn Overland Wildlands door. This particular door actually has a separating screen door for extra ventilation. It comes standard in a TetonX with a privacy shade cover. So we can cover the entire door. We can open half of it, or it can be removed completely. And put away for storage. So now we can have the pets in there, nice and secure, but have a lot of ventilation for them. Most doors on the market just have a center strike. This door actually has 2 compression latches as well. So when we draw the door in, we will close those compression latches, which will in turn engage the interior latch and draw it tighter into the seal. So we get less dust intrusion as well as some security. So as I close that door and draw it in, we're actually drawing the door in there and there for security reasons as well. Another nice thing with the Turn door is it's got a very sophisticated key in it. So you're not gonna pick that lock very easy.
It closes a lot nicer than our RV door.
Since we're on door latches, this is actually a draw latch as well. So not only does it engage to the frame here, but as you turn it again, it compresses in. So we actually get a better seal between these two surfaces when we draw that all the way in. So we go like that, draw it in again, it actually pulls it even further in. So there is on this door 3 seals, a dust seal, inner on the door and inner on the frame. So between the 3 seals, We can see dust here in the corner every so often, but we never see anything inside.
What about hygiene? We didn't touch on that yet, and when I say hygiene, I'm talking about toilet facilities or shower. I actually talked with Lindsay some about this. I don't know if you and Kyle touched on this, but definitely she walked me through the shower on the driver's side of the rig. So let's take a look at that.
New shower fill. So this is the Savig shower fill. So this has just this attaches separately here, so you can store that wherever and have a nice secure fixture. And that plugs in, and then you've got hot and cold adjustment here. If you choose the shower room, you have a hook in the shower room for the shower and a different handle that actually stays open, so you can turn that on for your shower. Use that to wash off the puppy wherever you went.
Yeah, that's the main purpose.
Yes, exactly. And if you choose our shower room, it's 42 by 46, and so that sits over the light and the shower room. So that actually has just a hinge system. It just opens up and it opens into that square room. And so you've got light and shower inside that room. It zips on all four sides. So if you're somewhere where you need full privacy, you can zip yourself in and stake that down and not worry about, some of them are 3-sided. So all of a sudden that's gonna open up on you. If you're somewhere where you don't need a ton of privacy, but you want a little bit of just like wind block, you can roll up one side or the other, or both, so that you can kind of use it as a pass-through and have a little bit of privacy, but have it a little more accessible too. So I kind of use it as a U-shape a handful of times, depending on which way the wind's blowing, and that's a good place to set your portable toilet or the shower or changing room if you've got extra people with you and they kind of need some privacy. That's a nice built-on section.
Awesome. So I love the fact that it has not endless, tankless. It's lots of hot water. Okay, because our RV is like one of my biggest complaints, other than the door, is the hot water. I can't get in there and wash my hair and shave my legs and still have hot water by the end. This one, got it.
Soap, rinse, squeegee.
There you go, that's it. But so I like that, and they have some good options for their shower enclosure, which is nice. And then they also have the option, if you want to get a cassette toilet, or as long as it's the size of the cabinet inside the rig, which I think she said it was 22 inches by, I can't remember, but as long as it's the correct size, you can actually put a cassette toilet inside the rig if you wanted to do that, and then you wouldn't have to go outside in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom if you don't mind going to the bathroom with someone in the rig with you. But you can also remove whatever toilet you have, which is portable, and put it in that shower enclosure as well. So that's an option that you don't always have on a lot of rigs, to carry a toilet like that, or to have that kind of option. Most of them have options for some kind of shower, but this one is one that I think, because it has a light in the shower area, which is nice, and the option to hang the hose and whatnot, was nice.
Did Lindsay talk to you at all about lead time?
No, I think they didn't want to mention that one. Let's bury that one, because it is a lengthy lead time. And I think, admittedly, they know that it's a lengthy lead time, and it's probably another reason why they do such a great job with customization, because if you're going to wait, is it 2 years? Is it more? It's more than a year, right?
Yeah. It's
more than a year. But that's because they really do take it from the ground up, and they build it the way you want it to be built. So I think it just depends on how long you're willing to wait for what you want. Right? Do you want it now? Do you want something right now, or 6 months? Or can you wait to get what you want? It just depends. Did Kyle talk about it?
No.
And that's okay. I'm sure here's another thing. I've communicated back and forth with Lindsay. She is, bam, on the spot, super fast with communication. And so I know for sure that if I message her, she's going to get that information to us. And I think it's going to be an estimate.
Yeah. I mean, here's the the honest truth, right? They, their suppliers are hit by COVID.
Right.
They are facing, labor challenges like everybody, right? It's not unique to them, and it's something that can't be completely predicted and or planned for. They do have plans for expanding their manufacturing space, and I think they said they've got like 8 months to work towards staffing for that added capacity. But who knows, right?
Right.
Okay, so Chris, final thoughts.
Well, I really like the Teton.
We like it for a number of reasons. We like them, right?
Right.
Sort of like the connection we made with Artie and Stacy from Expedition. Kyle and Lindsay, they're doing this because they love it. They love the product, and they love engaging with customers. One of the reasons that they like going to the expos is to get that feedback, to get that it's
make the connection with the customer, because they have enough orders that they don't need to go to an expo to make any more sales, but they get a chance to actually be around the people who are ordering the products. So that's really great. They're nice, honest, proud of what they're doing. And I thought it was funny because Lindsay said that what did she say? Kyle came out of the womb self-employed, which I think is I thought that was a funny comment. So he is an entrepreneur at heart, and is well versed in making sure that his products are quality and serving the people that he's making them for. So that's great.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it goes without saying, we like the space, we like the door, obviously. What else?
Well, I like the height. I like the width. I like that I can stand up. I like that I can sit down. I like that I can eat inside. I like that I can get to the refrigerator from the inside or the outside. I like the kitchen space. It has a nice look to it. I think the only concerns that we have are the weight and maybe the length. We haven't really talked about the length. I'm not sure if that's an issue.
I don't think that's really an issue.
Okay.
The configuration at the rear of the chassis, gives you an excellent departure angle.
Good.
So I'm not all that concerned with the length.
Yeah, I think the only things that concern us at this point are the weight, because we have a Jeep, and then
the weight.
The weight and the weight. Both kinds, both spellings. But I think, again, the Teton is worth the weight. Yep. In our opinion. So I definitely liked it, and I liked them for sure.
Yep. So a lot of people have been asking, who's coming out as number one on our list, and I'll have to admit, it's still a close thing. It is still a close thing. The weight, WEIGHT, may be a factor that offsets the standability limitations on the Voyager, but so it's a close thing between the Expedition and the Teton. But gosh, if the weight and the weight, if those aren't issues, I don't know that there's a reason that I would say this isn't absolutely the number one. We're towing behind a Jeep, and so that creates a factor for us. But if you've got more tow capacity, it's a pretty good rig.
Yeah, it's a great option. And so check it out. I think that you will like it. Talk to Lindsay and she will get you hooked up with all of the information. They have pictures and some videos that kind of give you a little bit of information from their website, but again, very communicative. So they'll hook you up with the information that you need.
Yeah, so if you have any other questions about this, obviously feel free to reach out to them directly. We're not spokespeople really or experts, but we did actually spend a lot more time with them today. So if you have questions and you want to drop them in the comments, please do so. We'll do our best to answer, and we can even put together some other clips that might include some content that wouldn't make it into the main video.
Yeah, and Kyle and Lindsay, if we messed anything up, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.